Hi, this is Izabel Florence, and you are listening to YouRLight podcast, a safe space where we talk about mental health and well-being. Hello, my lovely. Welcome to the emotion series, where we learn to label our emotions to better our relationship with ourselves and others. Today, we're going to talk about envy and jealousy. So I got the idea for this series because I was confusing the meaning between envy and jealousy. I was calling envy jealousy, and I think this is something that's very common. The word envy has more of a negative connotation and a negative preconception towards it, and so I think a lot of us refrain from using it, and we end up using jealousy instead, but in the wrong context. So first, I'm going to explain to you the difference between the two. Envy is the desire for something that belongs to someone else, while jealousy is the fear of losing something or someone to another person. So a lot of us say, "Oh, you went on this amazing vacation. I'm so jealous of you." But that's actually envy. Again, I think we don't use it in this context because it sounds negative. It sounds quite mean in a way. We even lower the power of the word jealousy when we want to sound even nicer. And we say, "Oh, I'm so jelly." But jealousy and envy are very different things. And when you say, "I wish I had something that you have," it means that you are envious instead of jealous. So let's start talking about envy. I think envy can be an amazing tool for us to understand ourselves better. It can be used in a way to show you clearly what it is that you feel you are lacking in your life. Now, there's two types of envy for external things in your life and envy for internal things that are part of yourself. So, for example, external things would be wanting a car that someone else has, wanting the house that someone else has, wanting a type of lifestyle, money, fame, success. When we talk about external things, the actual desire for it is for pleasure rather than for happiness. And I think this is really important to understand because we as a society have ended up believing that the pursuit for pleasure is equal to our pursuit for happiness, and they're very different things. External things in your life will give you pleasure, it will give you a good feeling for a little while, but it will not give you happiness. We also have to remember that external things can always be taken away in a heartbeat. So creating attachment towards them will only lead to more stress and more anxiety in your life for fear of losing it. There is no reason for us to attach our identity to external things in our lives. We can be aware of the pleasure that it brings to our life, and it's okay to go after that pleasure and to feel that pleasure in your day-to-day life. But still, while staying aware of its lack of ability to make you happy. Now let's talk about internal qualities that you can be envious of. You can want to be more virtuous like someone else. You can see someone being very kind and wish for having some of this quality in your life. You can look at someone who is very confident and feel very envious because you wish to have self-worth, self-care, ability to understand how incredible you are. And I think that's a good thing to feel because we should be striving for more of that. We all should. The funny thing is that the more you build these internal positive qualities in your life, the less envious you will feel of others. So it's almost like a cycle where you will feel envious. If you choose to go after building that within, then it will take you away from that feeling of envying someone. Now, the problem with envy, I think, is that when that feeling is very present, the natural response is to want to destroy the person that has what we don't have, rather than going after it yourself. Because we end up believing that there's not enough in the world. And if that person has it, I either have to destroy what they have so that I feel better about myself, or I have to steal it from them. But that's not the case. There is an abundance in the world, and we can all achieve incredible qualities within ourselves. And the more we achieve those qualities within, the more we will want to help those around us to achieve them as well. To feel confident, to feel secure, to feel kind, to feel loved. Instead of looking at someone that has something you have and thinking, I hate that person because they have what I want. Look at it as proof that you can have it as well. If that person has it, it means that you are able to reach that thing as well. So in a way, envy doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad emotion. It can serve as a focal point towards a life where you are happier with who you are. So I think bringing awareness to that feeling and flipping the perception that we have towards it can be really beneficial in our lives. Another point that I want to touch on is the awareness that we should have for the things that make us envious of other people for. You look at someone and you desire what they have. Where is that desire coming from? Is it coming from your true wish to have it? Or is it coming from a belief that you should have it? Does it come from a pressure that you feel from society? A pressure that you felt from your parents? A pressure that you felt from your colleagues? It's important to challenge our belief in what it is that we want, because we are constantly bombarded with ideas of you should want that will make you happy. And a lot of the times it's not the right path for us. We're all getting the same messages, but we are all completely unique. So that doesn't make any sense. The thing that you want is going to be different to everyone else in this world. And so I want you to rebel against the shoulds, or what propaganda tells you will make you happy. And be very specific about what it is that you are searching for, what it is that you are envious of. Because without being specific about it, it will be very difficult to go after that. It will be very difficult to clearly imagine what it is that you want your life to look like. Without knowing that image, you cannot understand the steps to walk towards it. And remember that you are unique, you are an individual, you are distinct in your talents, in your gifts. So you shouldn't envy someone else's life, because the gift that you have been given by being born who you are is the most beautiful gift you have. It's the most beautiful talent you will ever have. It's being you. And you are enough and you are beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about jealousy and the difference now. Jealousy is when we feel threatened to lose someone or something we already have. It is very common in relationships. And I think just like envy, we can challenge its meaning. We can change its perspective. We can look at its positive and negative side of it. The nature of the universe that we live in is impermanent. The only thing that we are able to fully recognize is that it is ever changing. So it is a little bit mad to feel such anxiety about the reality of change, while at the same time it being completely natural because we are aware of the change. We are aware of its existence. So we are very aware of the possibility of losing someone. I believe that jealousy happens when you attach some of your happiness to someone else, when you attach yourself to something external. And I think it is completely natural to do so when you're in a relationship. When you fall in love with someone, it is such a powerful feeling. It's like a drug because it releases such beautiful hormones in our brains and bodies that we never want to stop feeling that feeling. So part of me wants to celebrate jealousy a little bit. Not in the toxic way in which you block someone from being fully themselves, free in the way that they were born, but in the way that we show our vulnerability to our loved ones. We need to understand and remember that no matter how much we love someone, one day we will be separated from them, even if that separation comes from death. And that can sound very bleak and pessimistic, but it's the truth. And so I think the important thing to do when we feel these feelings is to want to share as much of your love for someone right now without really focusing on the future and the fears that come with thinking about what might happen. Again, change is the only constant we have in life. So we need to accept it, however difficult that might feel. You also have to remember that your happiness can come from many things, and the happiness that you get from the things that are internal, the things that are within you, is the happiness that you can hold on to. If you are depending on someone else for your own happiness, this feeling will only cause more anxiety, not only for yourself, but for someone else, for the other person. Because you can feel the pressure of someone else if they put that on your shoulders. It's not a nice feeling. There's a difference between being celebrated by someone you love and being held down by someone who fears losing you. And so you should try to not be the person that holds someone down, because that might drive them away from you. And if you do lose someone, let's try and change the language to, I have returned them to wherever they belong without me. We should not view anything as our own except for ourselves, even kids. And that must be very difficult. I don't even have any kids, and I can't even imagine how difficult that might be. But they're not our own. They're their own person. You do not need anyone to be happy. They better your life. They support you. But happiness can be found regardless of what is external from you. Yes, I believe we need a community for happiness, but that community can be formed by many different people, whoever you choose and whoever chooses to be there for that time in your life. And then we also have to remember that we are human beings who feel jealousy, and that is natural. There is this resistance for admitting that we feel petty feelings. I know that I have such resistance because my ego wants to believe I am better than that, but I'm not. I'm just a human being, and it is normal for me to feel jealousy, to feel envy. Again, it is because of the presence of the ever-changing nature all around us. It means that you understand the nature of this life we live in, and whatever makes you more aware of your human beingness is beautiful. So jealousy can be beautiful. Hopefully, it means there is love there. I really enjoy exploring these themes without a finite understanding and conclusion. It makes it more interesting, and I hope it is clear to you that my intention is just exploration and awareness. I am not ever trying to seem as if I know it all, because I could never. I'm just a very curious person sharing the exploration of my mind. I hope you enjoy it. I think next week we're going to talk about anxiety, because it is very present in our lives nowadays. It's an emotion that is very powerful. So I hope I see you there. All right. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. All the links are written down on the show notes, as well as resources for anyone struggling with their mental health. Don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when we release new episodes. Also, feel free to share our podcast with your friends and family. And if you'd like to get involved, explore our content, or support our work, visit our website www.yourlight.earth. That's yourlight.earth. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at u.r.light. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.